For most of gaming history, buying a game was simple. You went to a store, you bought a cartridge, a disc, or a box. You took it home, and it was yours. Years later, you could pull it off a shelf, put it into a console, and play it again. It didn't matter if the developer closed down. It didn't matter if the publisher disappeared. As long as the hardware worked, the game survived. Today, that certainty is beginning to disappear. Because more and more games are no longer something you own. They're something you access. The shift happened gradually. At first, digital downloads seemed like a convenience. No trips to the store, no scratched discs, no waiting for shipments. Entire libraries could be purchased and installed with a few clicks. Players embraced it. Companies embraced it. And over time, digital gaming became the norm. But hidden beneath that convenience was a fundamental change. When you buy a digital game, you often aren't purchasing ownership in the traditional sense. You're purchasing a license, permission to access content under specific conditions. Most of the time, those conditions don't matter. The game works. The servers stay online. Everything feels normal. Until something changes. A publisher removes a game from sale. A digital store shuts down. An online service is discontinued. Suddenly, access becomes uncertain. Over the years, countless games have vanished from digital storefronts. Some were removed because of licensing agreements. Others disappeared due to business decisions. In some cases, entire online games became unplayable when servers were shut down. Players who paid for those experiences discovered an uncomfortable reality. Ownership no longer guaranteed permanence. The problem becomes even larger when online connectivity enters the picture. Many modern games depend on servers controlled by publishers. Even single-player experiences sometimes require online verification. As long as the servers remain active, everything works. But when support ends, the game can become difficult or impossible to access. A product that was purchased can effectively stop functioning. Imagine buying a book that could no longer be opened because the publisher went out of business. Imagine purchasing a movie that disappears from your collection because a company changes its policies. Most people would consider that unacceptable. Yet, in gaming, situations like this are becoming increasingly common. And it's not just games. The entire industry is moving toward access-based models. Subscription services provide libraries of games for a monthly fee. Cloud gaming allows players to stream titles they never actually download. The focus is shifting away from ownership and toward ongoing access. For companies, the benefits are obvious. Subscriptions provide predictable revenue. Digital distribution reduces costs. Control over access remains centralized. For players, the picture is more complicated. The convenience is real, but convenience often comes with trade-offs. When everything is digital, control becomes concentrated in the hands of platform owners, publishers, and service providers. They decide what remains available. They decide what gets removed. They decide how long access continues. The player has far less control than they once did. Some gamers have already started pushing back. Communities dedicated to game preservation are working to save older titles before they disappear. Collectors continue to value physical copies. Others argue that consumers should have stronger protections for digital purchases. Because once a game disappears, recovering it may be impossible. And gaming history is filled with experiences that can never truly be replaced. The concern isn't that digital gaming is bad. The concern is what happens when ownership itself becomes optional, when every game becomes a service, when every purchase becomes temporary, when access depends entirely on decisions made by someone else. The gaming industry has always evolved, from cartridges to discs, from discs to downloads, from downloads to subscriptions. The question is where that path leads next. Because future generations of players may look back on shelves filled with physical games as something unusual, a relic from a time when buying a game meant owning it. And if that future arrives, the greatest change in gaming may not be better graphics, faster hardware, or smarter artificial intelligence. It may be the quiet disappearance of ownership itself.